what's up? Welcome to my channel. So here's the tea. I've seen this video done a bazillion times on YouTube. A lot of people have done this video. I saw Kathleen's, I saw Tati's, but I think Julia Adams overall created this tag, so I'll link her video down below if you guys want to check that out. But we're gonna basically be going through my makeup and talking about the top 3 in every category, which this category changes rarely, honestly. Some of these have been my holy grails for years, and then some of them are a bit newer. But we're gonna be talking about all that today, and I'm exposing my most used makeup that I pretty much all keep on my desk here. There were a couple items where I really had to dig in and think about it, but most of the stuff, it was a no-brainer. I'm like, duh. Girl, that's the tea for today's video. That's what we're gonna be doing today. Also, a shout out to Dr. Dennis Gross for partnering with me for a portion of today's video. I wanted to mention with you guys their LED mask. Look at this thing. This is their Face Wear Pro Mask. This is an LED light mask, and if you're wondering what it does, well, let me explain. This mask is an LED mask. It lights up, and it is a 3-minute process, so it's super quick and easy to use. It's a wrinkle-reducing, acne-fighting LED mask for your entire face. They have a series of light treatments within this mask. You just put it on, and it is skin contact, so the lights actually touch your skin, which gives you that really great penetration, and it has a strap, and you just loop it right onto your face. So you can use it hands-free. That's the best part. And you can really use it doing anything. You can see right through it. And it's so quick. It's 3 minutes. So I love doing it. I'm really consistent with it. And I also like that it's skin-to-skin contact, so you feel like you really get that penetration. So you hold this for 2 seconds. The red light is for anti-aging wrinkle reduction. So that's what I use mine the most on. But then you can do the blue light, which destroys acne-causing bacteria. Or you can do a little bit of both. It's up to you, whatever option you want. But these masks are pretty amazing. I'm also doing a giveaway with them, so be sure to check that out. I'll have that link right down below. They're giving away a Gucci bag and so much good stuff to you guys, so be sure and enter the giveaway. Again, it's linked right down below. So overall, I love it. It's a hands-free device. It has 3 different treatments within it, and I think it's amazing. Also, whenever I get a fancy facial in LA that are very expensive, they always do the red light treatment on me, and that's what this mask has in it, so love that. So be sure and check that out. I'll have everything linked down below, including the giveaway. And thank you again to Dr. Dennis Gross for partnering with me for a portion of today's video. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe, and let's go ahead and jump into these products. All right, where shall we begin? Primers, I say. So I will say, as I've grown up on YouTube, my product selection has become more picky. And I mentioned that because I'm a sunscreen-aholic now. I've seen results in almost my skin looks better than it did when I was years younger because of the amount of sunscreen that I use on my skin. I feel like it's retracting. So I strongly suggest using sunscreen every single day, and the best practice for that is just put it on before you put on your makeup. So I like to use this one by Elta MD. This is my #1 product. There's also one by Dermalogica. It's upstairs in my bathroom that I like to use, but it's also a great daily sunscreen. And I kind of use this as a facial primer because I want my skin to have moisture in it, and I want it to have protectants in it from the environment, and that's what this really gives me. So I do use it as a primer. So this is just my honesty hour, where maybe it's not technically a primer, but it is definitely one of my top products that I use as a primer. So love this, highly recommend it. I also recommend the Dermalogica one. I'll link both down below. They're both really amazing daily sunscreens. Now, if you're looking for an actual primer, I have 2 that are at the top of my list for absolutely my favorite products. The first one I've been using for years. This is the Vitamin Enriched Face Base by Bobbi Brown. I like to apply this one here with an actual beauty blender, and it is also very moisturizing, but at the same time, I think it does a great job priming your skin, and it's just one that I've used for years, and it also has skincare in it, so we love that. And then this one right here, I love the putty primer. I also like the bougie version by Tatcha. I think they're both wonderful. This one is Lumi, and it's quite affordable, so this one by e.l.f. is pretty darn bomb.com. Definitely check it out if you're looking for something that is going to be somewhat pore filling but luminous at the same time. I think you'll really like this one. Next, we're going to move on to foundations, and you probably can guess the first one I'm gonna mention. This is a foundation I have used for years and years. I have a mixture on today, and the mixture I have on today, the 2 products, they're in my top 3. So the first one, This is my girl, Hourglass Vanish Stick in the shade beige. I have used this for years and years, and I've always used this shade beige. This is the butteriest full coverage foundation I've ever used. And it's weird because it seems like the longer I wear it or have it on my skin, the better it looks. It wears so well for long term. And like, it's like the longer you wear it throughout the day, it doesn't look worse. It looks better on your skin. I'm obsessed. You can also use these as concealers because they are a 2-in-1 product. I typically don't, but if I'm having a really dark under eye day, I will go and then put concealer on top of that so I get the double coverage. But it wears so good. It's more of a full coverage product, but I think if you use just a little bit of it, you can definitely get it down to a medium coverage product. But it's just so buttery on the skin, and it's not too matte, not too dewy. It is that perfect semi-dewy in between, and it just gives me all the coverage in the world that I need, and it lasts. I've been wearing it for years. But another one I've been mixing this with, and I also have this on my skin today as well. This is the Matte Velvet Skin by Makeup Forever. It comes in a tube. Makeup Forever is really strong in their base products. I also enjoy their powders as well, but this is my favorite foundation from them, and this is definitely a medium coverage. It's 24-hour wear, and it says it's dermatology tested, so great for sensitive skin. It's a really good foundation. However, it is quite matte, but sometimes I want that matte moment, and when I mix these two, I still get that semi-matte moment. But this one, oh! Almost dropped her. Girl, she's good. She's real good. She says full coverage, but I say she's more medium coverage. You could definitely get this one to full coverage, but I think you'll have to use a lot of it. And then lastly, this one I have fallen in love with this year. This one is by Uma Beauty by Sharon C. The Flawless in Real Life Skin Perfecting Foundation. So this one kind of is more liquidy. Reminds me of almost like a skin serum foundation, but it has that great medium coverage. She's got a beautiful shade range of them. They're affordable. They're available at Walmart, and it's just a good product, especially, I don't even want to say for the price because it's just good in general. You know what I mean? It's not like good for the price. This could be a high-end foundation totally, and you wouldn't know the difference because it's so good. It wears very beautifully on the skin. I will say it has a little bit lighter coverage than these two that I just mentioned. So I don't try to build this up. This one I use more so on days when I don't want as full coverage makeup. Let's talk about concealer. So this is one where I have actually quite a few concealers that I love, like more than 3 that I love. These I like had a little more of a difficult time narrowing it down, but we narrowed it down. So first we have the Hourglass. I'm going to be mentioning a lot of Hourglass products because they are so good. They're just good. They know how to make good makeup there. I don't know what they're putting in the makeup over there, but it works. So this is the Hourglass Vanish Concealer. It kind of goes hand in hand with the Vanish foundation. Now, when they came out with the liquid foundation in the Vanish, I really didn't love it as much. I liked it, but not as much as the stick. It didn't hold a candle to the stick or the concealer. This concealer is so good. It's all that Erin uses every day, and what I use most of the time. It is very liquidy. It is very full coverage. A little bit goes a very long way, and you're gonna get major coverage for this, so make sure you get the right shade. But it wears beautifully and it lasts for a long time, and I find that it doesn't crease. So this is probably like my number 1. My number 2, I would say it's a hard toss-up between these two, but the Jouer Essentials High Coverage Liquid Concealer in Soft Matte. I like this one because sometimes I have dry under eyes, and this one is also great for mature skin because it has hyaluronic acid in there, so it locks in the moisture. But this one's very creamy, a little more creamy than the Hourglass. That one's a little more liquidy than this one. I like that it comes on this big doe foot applicator. And I love the shade range, and I love the way it wears. This one also is a very full coverage concealer. All my concealers I'm going to mention today, they're full coverage because I do have quite a bit of darkness, and as you can see here, I need it covered, and I really go in with a concealer that works for that. I recommend trying this one out. And then this one is a newer one for me that I've been obsessed with. I use the shade Light Neutral, but this is the Hailey's Beauty Rewind Blurring Coverage Concealer. So this one is a creaseless concealer. It's really good if you have fine lines and wrinkles on your under eye, but you're still looking to kind of get that full coverage, but you don't want it to kind of settle in those wrinkles or get cakey. This is a really, really good one for that, like specifically for that business right here. So I love it. it. And it's a newer one. You know, they reached out to work with me and I was like, okay, this was a while back. This video is not sponsored by them, but I was like, okay. And so let me try out some of your products. And when they sent me this, I used an entire tube. I used the whole tube and was like, I need to purchase more. This concealer is so bomb and it wears beautifully. It's also a fragrance-free, cruelty-free brand and it's long-wearing matte and it says Science LED. I don't know what that means, but I love it. Okay, let's talk about powders. Oh, what do you know? I have like a pattern with my makeup. Like some brands I just trust so much and that's why I'm probably gonna be repeating them. But whenever I do my foundation, I wanna go ahead and set my entire face. I stopped using such a matte setting powder and I started replacing that with one with some Lumi in it because I found that it was making me way too matte. The best setting powder with just like a little bit of luminosity is the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. So this one, a little bit goes such a long way. So I will say this will last you a long time. I put this all over my face after I put my cream product and foundation down. And I try to avoid just right here in that under eye because I don't want shininess in this pore area and I don't want it in the under eye, but it's not really gonna make you shimmery or shiny. There's just like the smallest amount of luminosity where you don't look like matte cake. Makes your skin and makeup look a little more real, if that makes sense. So this is my favorite. I have to have it. I use it every time I do my makeup. Tried and true. This one is the Laura Mercier, just the original translucent powder. They also have a Lumi one, but I find that it's just a hair too Lumi for me. And I only use this on my under eye area and I kind of quit baking with it. I more so just sweep some under my eye to help out because I am a little dry under there and I don't want to add too much powder. So this one specifically, because I don't like Lumi in my under eye, I use this one for my under eye, that one for my face. And then if you're looking for just a soft blurring powder, touch-up powder, setting powder in a compact, I got you covered there. My all-time favorite is the Jouer. So this is the Jouer Soft Focus Hydrate Setting Powder, and this one's translucent, but they have a couple different shades. And what I like to do with this one here is more so keep it in my purse or keep it for touch-up. So I'll just get a little bit on a brush and then I like to just sweep it across my face for a blurring effect, especially if I'm getting a little bit too shiny. This is such a great touch-up powder. It's like honestly the best touch-up powder. Powders say so often they have this blurring effect, which seems like a gimmick, but I find in this one it's not a gimmick. You can really see your pores blurred in this little guy here, so bomb. Shall we talk about blushes? Or bronzers. Let's do bronzers. I'm gonna do cream bronzers first because it's what I'm most excited about in today's video. So my #1 cream bronzer of all time will always be the Chanel. This is the Soleil Tan de Chanel. Ooh, smells so good. Mine's almost out. I gotta get a fresh one. It's always sold out, so if you're able to find it, they have the deeper shades available now, but this one's like the original medium one. And you can use this as a complete and total makeup base. It is not like a total cream contour. It's more like a very light bronzing base, and you can even, like if you're just doing dewy makeup, you can just use this as your bronzer and not powder on top. You don't have to set this stuff. It's more of like a light bronzing tan to put on your face. As you can see, I love mine. It's almost used up, but it's one of my favorite products of all time. I often use it. Sometimes when I'm not wearing any makeup and I just want a little glow, I'll pop some of this on. So it's very universal in the way that you can use it, and it's so good. Now, I will say my #1 actual, like getting in there, getting that good cream contour, hardcore, structuring it out. This is the best one you can buy. I'm sorry, I've tried many. This is the best cream contour money can buy. It's the Huda Beauty Tan Tour. Now, I will tell you this, for some reason her colors run deep. I am in the shade light, whereas I'm normally a medium, but in hers I'm a light because as you can see, this is light and it's pretty darn dark, but this color is perfect for my skin tone. And oh my God, this is the creamiest, easiest to blend cream bronzer I've ever used in my life, but you still get so much pigment. Don't go in with a lot of this stuff, go light-handed with it, but my God, because sometimes cream bronzers can be really frustrating whenever they're everywhere on your face and you can't get it just blended like butter and it's kind of patchy or dry. I hate that. They're the best, the absolute best. I also have a discount code with Huda Beauty. It's Laura Lee for 10% off their website. They're also available at Sephora, but girl, girl. I'm wearing it today, by the way. You can tell I've cream bronze because I have a little more of an intense makeup on, and I am obsessed. Now, there is another one that has come into my life recently that I absolutely adore, so I thought I would mention it to you because it too is really easy to blend, and I like his shade range a lot. This is the Makeup by Mario Cream Bronzer in the shade Light. I'm just in shade Light. I don't typically use this brush on it. I use my own brush, but this is what it looks like. It's just a really easy to travel with, really easy to use because you can just, if you know what I mean. It's a really good cream bronzer. It's pretty gosh darn easy to blend out as well. I do like the Huda Beauty one just a hair bit more, but these going hand in hand, I think they're really great products, both of them. So let's talk about powder bronzer, shall we? So the first and foremost, I hope they still sell this because if they don't and I spend this time mentioning it, I'm gonna kick myself. But this is the Tantastic 104 bronzer by Marc Jacobs. Mine looks like it's been through hell and back because it has, but I will tell you, this bronzer is so big and the pan size is decently deep on it that it's gonna last you a really long time. I've had this for years and I have it on today on top of the Huda one. It's what I'm wearing. It's really beautiful. It looks quite cool tone in here, but honestly, whenever you blend it out, it is a little more warmer of a bronzer, but it looks so pretty on. I feel like this powder is grind it down to such a fine grain powder. It's very soft and easy to work with. So love this, and it will last you a lifetime. Now, something similar from the drugstore that I've, again, just used for years and years and would consider definitely a top 3 for me is the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula. I think they changed the packaging a little bit. Mine's a little bit old, so if you're like, what is that? It's just the old one. This is like the best drugstore bronzer, but take it out of the drugstore category. It's still overall like a top 3 for me because of the soft formula of it and its blendability. It's really good. It is a really good one. This is my second one. I love the smell of coconuts, and it smells so much like a coconut, but it's not overpowering where like if you're wearing it, you're not going to be like knocked out by coconuts. But it is a really, really good bronzer, super smooth. And then my last one I wanted to mention to you guys, I kind of had like a toss up. I was like, is it this one, or this one? But I ended up going with something that I've also used for years, and it is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Bronzer. I don't know if they changed the formula to this, but actually I like the newer formula better than the old formula, and I used to be like the biggest fan of this ever. I still am, clearly, but this newer formula is really, really good. Just a tried and true Too Faced product that's probably, honestly, in my opinion, one of their strongest products. So let's talk about cream blushes. My first one is by Dominique Cosmetics. This is my favorite product Kristen has ever created with her brand, and it is her cream blush in Soft Pink. This is such a pretty pinky blush. It blends out really well. I typically just dab my beauty blender right into it and dab it on the cheeks. It's so freaking good. It looks beautiful on and really natural, pretty flush. It's not too pigmented, not too greasy. It doesn't take apart your makeup. So I've been loving this one in Soft Pink. She has quite a few shades. Check them out, but her formula is great. Okay, my next ones are by SheGlam. These are the best liquid blushes ever. I freaking love them, and they're a great price as well. So I have Orgasm and I have Dolce Vita. So Orgasm is the bit more pink one, and they come on these little doe foot applicators, but look, they're super pigmented, yet they blend out really, really well. These are bomb. This one has a little bit of a more, I don't want to say red, but like rustic tint to it. It almost has like, these are my 2 favorite colors, by the way, that I wear in them, but it almost has like a warmer tone to it. And then this one's more pinky. These are good. So definitely check them out. Orgasm, Dolce Vita, some of the best cream blushes you can buy. And seriously, I wear them all the time. And look at that. Look how good that is. Now for powder blushes, it's a different story. Well, before we jump into powder blushes, I just want to say we have a holiday launch coming in early November, so be on the lookout for that. It's definitely something you guys have been asking for so long from Laura Lee Los Angeles, and I am so freaking hyped. It's a product we've never come out with before. I'm a terrible winker. But anyways, wanker. I've been watching Sex Education on Netflix, and they say wanker all the time. Okay, let's move on. My first one is by Patrick Ta. It's called She's Seductive. And when I first got his blushes in, this is the one I used the least, but he came over and did my makeup. And he used this one on me, showed me how pretty it is. And every time I have a bride or like anyone who's like, what's the best blush for brides? This is what I have on today, by the way. It's this one, She's Seductive. I'm like, She's Seductive. It looks dark and mauvey, but I promise it like comes off so pretty and natural. Look at this. Super. So you're not going to have like hot pink cheeks or really red, rosy cheeks on your wedding day. It's going to be a natural flush. So this is one of the most natural blushes I've ever used, but yet so absolutely beautiful. I've used it for a long time. Now, if you're looking to go a little more pinky, the Makeup by Mario blush in Mellow Mauve is one of my favorites. I will say these are not as pigmented as I thought they would be. However, I kind of appreciate that about it because it looks really pretty on. I just go in heavy-handed with this because I want a little more of a pink flush. But this is my favorite blush that he's come out with, Mellow Mauve. It's the prettiest and one of my favorite pinky pink blushes. Now, if we're talking about a blush palette, let's talk about it. I love Manny's Moon Prism blush palette. My favorite color in it is Stargaze right here. It's just a really great matte pink. He also has great colors for deeper skin tones and blushes, which are what these are. And then you have one with a little shimmer, and then this one is super light for a lighter skin tone called Pink Mood. And then you have a peach called Twilight. So it's just overall a great blush palette. I'll link it down below. And I love Miss Moon Prism. Probably one of my favorite products he's ever made. Let's do highlighters. Oh my gosh. So I wanted to talk about my glaze palette that I used all the time, but I decided not to because I didn't want you guys to think I'm just trying to promote my own products. I have a couple of my own products I'm going to talk about, but I didn't want to get too crazy with that, but I do use my glaze palette a lot. These are 3 blushes. I'm like hoping this one's still available, but this one I've used for years and it's like my favorite, the Amrezy highlighter from ABH. It's seriously one of the best highlighters on earth, and I love golden. Like, I'm a golden girl, so typically whatever highlight I reach for, it's gonna be pretty golden or champagne-like. So this one's really good. Super blinding. I'm wearing it today, and it's really beautiful. I don't know if it's still available. Part of me thinks it's not, so I better stop talking about it, but hopefully it is. And then this one from Revlon is a newer love of mine. It's called Skin Lights. They have 2 of them, but this one is in Daybreak Glimmer, and it's very blinding. It's like a baked highlight formula, and it's more of a champagne color, but very, very glowy, and it isn't patchy, and it wears really well on the skin. I've been obsessed with that. And then lastly, for a loose highlighter that I've just worn the crap out of for years and years and years is the Artist Couture Illuminati. This is his Diamond Glow powders, and they are so extremely pigmented. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, you are going to be glowing from outer space if you wear these. Just to swatch it for you, it has almost like this crazy flashback glow to it. So I really like them. I love popping this one in my inner corner. I love putting it on my cheek, but especially if I'm going to a dinner or something at night where I want to be a little more glowy, this is my girl. You can't go wrong with these. He has a ton of them in a ton of different shades, so be sure and check them out on Artist Couture's website. I also have a discount code with them. It is Larly for 10% off, I believe. Okay, shall we move on to eyeshadow palettes, because this was the hardest category for me. I walked back and forth in my beauty room like 8 times. I'm like, do I really mention 3 neutral palettes to them, or are they gonna want to slap me? But then I said, what palettes do you grab every day and use? And it's 3 neutral palettes. So I apologize. The only way I could separate is if I did 3 color palettes and 3 neutral palettes. But I just went for my most used because I felt like that was what was fair for the category in the video, or like the theme of the video. If you didn't think I was gonna talk about this, you just don't know me. You just don't know me, okay? This is Nudie Patootie. This palette I came out with in April of 2018. It has been our best-selling palette for years. Every year we sell a ton of these, and the feedback we've gotten on this palette is really amazing. It's such a beautiful palette. It has so many shades in it. They're very romantic, very beautiful, easy to wear, easy to use, neutral palettes. This is my most used color out of this palette, is Streaking. It looks really light in the palette, but if you blend it out, it actually builds up and it gets to a really nice deep transition shade mauve. And then we have endless plethora of neutrals, shimmers, and then we have like brow bone, inner corner colors. We have pinks, and then these 2 are foiled colors, so they're best applied with your finger, not with a brush, because you're gonna get the most pigmentation and the least amount of fallout if you apply these with a base onto your eyelid. Then you even have the deep shades, so it kind of has everything. It's a perfect palette. I also enjoy the big mirror in it. I use that more than you would think, so I would say this is my number 1. And then number 2, I would say palette that I reach for is actually this little Mario palette. This is my travel palette. Anytime I go anywhere at all, this is the one I bring with me. It's just an all matte eyeshadow palette. Literally an all matte. It has all your transition shades, even some black shades and darker shades up in here. It has like everything you need. So I find that this is like, if you're a makeup artist, clearly Mario is. This is like the palette that you need on hand. And the tones of the colors are really good too, because sometimes I'll see a neutral palette like this. I'm like, yeah, but it's like all like really gray, cool undertones, which I don't love. These are a little bit warmer and spicier. They're really good. I had this one on as my transition shade today, but my green shadow is from Pat McGrath. But this palette is just such a go-to for me, and it's like mandatory in my collection. And then it's another neutral palette. I don't know if you guys remember, but whenever I did an unboxing from Poshmark, the girl put this in the box, and I gotta say it's quite dirty because I put my eye primer on it, but it's been a really great palette. By the way, this is like one of my first Melt Cosmetics experiences, so I like Melt Cosmetics. They make really good stuff, but these are really beautiful mattes. Their shimmers are like incredibly pigmented, like crazy, so I have been enjoying these. Like, they're so pigmented, and this is just a great palette that's not overwhelming. You ever open a palette and you're just overwhelmed and don't know where to get started? I feel like this is a good one that's like not so overwhelming, if you know what I mean. That's what I came up with for eyeshadow palettes. I hope you guys aren't disappointed. I was a little worried about that because they're all neutrals, but I am obsessed. Okay, let's talk about eyeshadow primer, shall we? I should have talked about that before the eyeshadow palette, but you know, here we are. So this is the best eyeshadow primer I've ever used. This is #1 by a long shot. I use this every day, and I even use it to carve out my brows. It is the best because I find that for somehow it primes your eyelids so well, but isn't tacky. I've used eye primers that are just a bit too tacky, and then I have to go in and set them with a translucent powder and do all this prep to them before I can get an eyeshadow on it, and it's just too much. I'm like, why do I have to do all this? This one, you don't have to. It has like a creamy powdery base where you can literally blend a matte eyeshadow right on top of it, and it doesn't get patchy at all, but for some reason it enhances your eyeshadow. It's also a lighter color, so I find that that kind of helps enhance your eyeshadow, and it has nice coverage to it because I have a little bit of redness on my eyelids, and I find that this really knocks that out. It's the best. And then I just wanted to mention the P. Louise eyeshadow base. They're also really amazing. They're quite a bit thicker of a formula. So what I really like to use these for, because she makes them in all different colors, is if I'm gonna wear a colorful eyeshadow, I'll put this down as my base, and you're gonna get like a really intense look out of these, and they're great. They're a good formula. Okay, next I think we should talk about mascaras. Hello. So my #1 mascara ever is the Shein Double-Ended Mascara. So many people buy this that they have it on their website where you can only purchase 2 at a time. They've like limited the amount you can get because they're $5, and they are some of the best mascaras ever. If you want your lashes to stay up straight as a board all day and just like, whoo, this is her. I mean, your lashes can't budge with this stuff. I would say the only downside to this mascara is it's really hard to get off. It is a waterproof mascara, and it's kind of similar to any waterproof mascara. You got to work a little bit harder to get it off your lashes, so that's the only downside. But if I'm doing a day where I'm not doing false lashes and I'm only doing mascara, a lot of the times I'll use this because I want the most out of my lashes, and that's what this gives me. It's double-ended, but you don't have to use both ends if you don't want to. You can just like pick an end and it will do the job. It will get the job done, but I do buy these 2 at a time off their website. My next one is the On the Rise by NYX. It is a volume mascara, but I find that this one is like mostly lengthening. It really lengthens my lashes. It gives them a nice curl, and it has kind of like a plastic wand, but it's quite bristly and bushy, if you will. But I find that their wand really separates the lashes, and my favorite thing about it is I have a lot of trouble with my mascara kind of transferring down, so this one doesn't transfer. It's definitely one of my favorites. Top mascara. If you haven't tried it, try it out. And then a newer one that I'm like absolutely loving is the Patrick Ta Major Volume Mascara. So I have this one on today. It's like super voluminous. The wand on it is really thick and chunky, kind of like the Can't Stop Won't Stop. This one also doesn't transfer. This one is a little bit more messy than the NYX one, but I find that this is like a better version of the Too Faced Better Than Sex. Like if I had to compare it, I would compare it to that, but I would say it's like a better version of that. Okay, let's move on to eyebrows. So I have 3 brow products in general. I'm not sure how I was supposed to do this part, so I just picked my 3 brow products that I use all the time. So the first one is my favorite brow gel product. Now, as we know, the bushy brow has taken over the world, and we're all brushing the brows up, which I love because it gives me like youthful, more fuller brow look whenever my brows actually aren't that full. They are not this full. This is a lie. My favorite product to do that with is the Brow Freeze by ABH. This is definitely definitely the best one on the market. I've tried dozens of them, and this one definitely like takes the cake of all of them. It's the strongest hold, but you have to use the least amount of product. So I find that this one lasts a long time, and at the same time really sticks my brows in place. So obsessed. Like, you guys should definitely try the Brow Freeze if you're interested in creating a look like this. And then what I'll do is I'll go in with an angled brow brush, and then I will fill in the sparse areas with powder. And because it has like that brow gel down, the powder sticks to it and creates like this really nice, more natural looking brow. This is the powder I use. I use mostly the darker one here, and then I mix in a little bit of this for the front of my brows, but this is in medium brown. It is the ABH Brow Powder Duo. I'll link everything below, but it's really good. And then something else occasionally I'll use if I'm going for an even more natural look is the Brow Flick. I think it's called Brow Flick from Glossier. It's called the Brow Flick, and I get mine in the shade brown. So this is a brow pin essentially, and you can just, look, mine's like all messed up, but you can just draw little brow hair strokes with this to get that really natural brow filled in look. I will say this takes me like 10 times longer to do because I do have a lot of sparse areas up in here, and I find that the powder is just like a quick once over with it, and it kind of fills it all in, whereas this takes me a long time. So that's kind of why I've been leaning towards the powder a little more, but this is a good brow product. All right, let's talk lip products. So we'll start with lip liners. So I have 3, they're all brown, but that's just what I wear. So the one I'm wearing today is by Dragon Beauty. It's called Lip Job Liner. Why does it not say the name of the product? I'll link it down below. I guess I don't know. It really doesn't say, but this is her darkest brown lip liner. I'll link it for sure. I'm sorry it doesn't say. That's kind of annoying for you guys, but maybe I'm missing it somewhere. That's definitely a possibility, but her lip liners are really good. I like that they're pencil liners, and her lip liners, I'm pretty sure they're bigger and longer than most lip liners, so they'll last a long time, but I've been wearing this one nonstop. It is such a good brown to line your lips with. It is a bit deeper, and then one that is similar to it but a bit cheaper is the BFF number 4 from ColourPop. Now this was originally Shayla's collab with them, but it too is just like a deeper brown liner. Really great for lining those lips. And then lastly, we have Stripped Down by MAC. I just have like the smallest amount left. Like, it's almost gone. I've used it for so long, but this is it right here. It's a bit of a lighter liner, so if you're a little bit more fair and you don't want to go so deep and drastic with your lip liner, you'll really like Stripped Down by MAC, and that's kind of what I use it for. So now let's talk about lipstick products. I have 2 tube lipsticks and 1 liquid lipstick. I wanted to mention Topless for my brand, but I was like, let's find different products. I was like, okay. So this is a new one for me, but I have worn it a ton. This is Dilemma by About Face, which is Halsey's brand. I've really been enjoying her brand, but oh my god, every time I wear this, people are like, what is on your lips? It is such a good nude. It's not even that pinky nude. It kind of reads that on camera, but it's more of just like a matte brownish nude, and it's really light. So I pair all 3 of the lip products I'm going to talk about with these lip liners, and you can mix any lip liner with it because they're all somewhat similar, and they blend out to a really beautiful ombre nude lip. And then today, what I have on my lips right now, this is my favorite lipstick ever. This is the KKW by Charlotte Tilbury. This is how much I have left of it, but I have another one on the way. Don't worry. It's almost gone, but it's like the perfect, literally the perfect pinky nude. A great example of it's what's on my lip right now. And what I like about this one is that it's not too matte. So this one I'll put on top of a liquid lipstick sometimes because it has a gloss shine to it. It's not a matte lipstick, if you can see right here. That's why my lips look a little glossy today, because this girl right here. And now this one is super matte, and I have a trouble finding this one, but it's Hot Sand number 503 by Maybelline. So I'll go ahead and swatch this for you too. So these are the 3 lips, but this one is like almost white nude. And what I like to do with this one is just put it in the center, like right there. And this one really helps to ombre out the lips because it has like that super light base to it. But I don't put this all over my lips because it's way too light for that. I kind of mix it in. So these 3 are my favorites. Sometimes I'll wear all 3 of these at the same time. I get a little crazy with lipstick, but girl, you know I love my nude lips. You know I love it. Okay, let's talk about lip glosses. Oh. Okay, the 2 that I wear and keep in my purse, period, is E-Bug, which is this nude one here, and Strawberry Skies, which is a little more of a clear rosy gloss. I like to wear E-Bug on top of my lip product. It is the best gloss. It doesn't mess up my lips and like melt everything together, and it just puts like this thinner gloss formula on my lips. I don't like anything too thick. I don't like goopy glosses at all. They look like crap. They mess up my lipsticks. I don't like them. I won't wear them. I don't like my lips to be sticky. These are so thin and nice to wear, but yet long wearing and very pretty. So E-Bug is the best to put on top of a nude lip. And then the one to wear by itself is Strawberry Sky, my absolute favorite. Just gives you the lightest flush of color, but keeps your lips high shined and glossy. And then I have one more I like to keep in my purse. I have a few of these. These are really good. These are the oils from Dior, lip oils, and they're bomb. I like to wear these by themselves. I don't really pair these with a lip product. The only downside of these is they do have quite a bit of tint in it, so when you put this on, your lips do look kind of orange. I didn't realize that for a while wearing them until I let my husband, because his lips were so chapped, I was like, I have these, they don't have tint, and he put on my pink one, and baby, his lips were hot pink, and I was like, oh my god, I did not realize these tone your lips that much. How did I miss this? I still like them. I always keep these little guys in my purse too. I got a lot of lip products in my purse. Okay, and lastly, we're in the home stretch. Shout out if you're here till the end of the video. What's up to you? I appreciate you being here. We're gonna talk about setting sprays. So setting sprays, this is my favorite. This is a brand new bottle. I haven't even opened it yet. I just finished off my other bottle of this. This one is so clean. You should see how dirty. I got rid of the other bottle, but it was like filthy because the bottle's white. So in makeup, it just got really dirty. It was so gross looking, but I finished it off. It's my fresh bottle that they actually sent me. This is the Glow Cocoa Mist Hydrating Mist. I like it for a couple reasons. I like the way it smells. I like how dewy it makes me, but not too dewy. And I like that it's hydrating, so I don't feel dried out after using it. Some that are long lasting dry me out and make me feel like my face is gonna crack. This one doesn't do that. It's one of my favorites. And now this one is if I want to get extreme. So I'm wearing this one today, I think. But this one is if I want to get glowy. Like we are going out, we are getting glowy, we are gonna be dewy. I'm gonna look semi-wet. This one is super dewy, but I love it. And I only have a mini in it because I used my whole full size. So now they sent me like a 3-pack of the minis, and now I'm like down to using the minis, but it's so good. I also, for some reason, like really love the mister on this one. It's like so good. Like it's a great mister. So good. But girl, you're gonna be dewy. If you have dry skin, use this. And then I wanted to mention one that I've used for years and years, and one that's not for dewy, but more so just making the makeup last for a long time. And this one's by Milani. This is actually called the Make It Last Setting Spray. But you can also use this as a primer, but if I'm gonna have to wear my makeup for a really long time and I can't play the dewy game, like I gotta play the she needs to stay on all day game, I typically go for this one. It comes in a small bottle, so it is great to travel with, but I wish it came in a bigger bottle, but this one is actually so good. It's quite comparable to the Urban Decay one. It's an actual dupe. Ooh, let me show you this one. It's literally the same product as the Charlotte Tilbury one. They remind me so much of one another. You can tell I've been enjoying this one too. But these are both Make It Last products, and this one is just more affordable and it's amazing. I've used it for years and years. I think I covered every category. I really oh, eyeliners. Oh my gosh, almost forgot. Hang tight. We're gonna talk about these really quick. Eyeliners. I pulled all these eyeliners and look at me, a mess. So my number one gel liner is the graphite liner from, or it's just the liner from KVD. They have them in all colors. This one is in graphite. It's plain black. I'm wearing it today. It's like the most matte black liner you're gonna get. So if you like working with liners in a pot, try out the KVD ones. They're amazing. Another product from KVD. I'm sorry, they just kill it in the liner category. But are there tattoo liners? Yes, tattoo liners. I like them in black and brown. Both are amazing. And my favorite thing about these is one, you know how whenever you're using a pen liner, you have to keep going over and over the same spot? These are really inky, so you get a lot out of them and they dry matte. And then I just wanted to mention two pencil liners to you guys. This one's my favorite. I don't think they sell it anymore, which is gonna make me so sad, but look how much I have left of it. That's how much I have left. This is for my waterline. It's by Estee Lauder and Victoria Beckham, and they came out with this duo liner set. The under end is neutral. I just wear black more in my waterline, so I use this in more, but it's my favorite liner of all time for the waterline. It's the creamiest and it never runs, and I can go back way later in the day and I'll still have it in my waterline. Bomb. But I also wanted to mention one that I've been enjoying a lot too, and it is the micro liner from Maybelline. It's really good. It's great for the waterline, and yeah, it works really well. Okay, so now we're done with the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Also, shout out to Dr. Dennis Gross. Be sure and check everything out. The giveaway will be in the description description box right down below, as well as links to the mask. And with that being said, that's it for today's video. Thank you again for watching. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.